should Christians contend for the media? Yes, the news. The news. Yes, I'll tell you why. Because someone is going to tell the story, and depending upon their bias, they're going to get it right or wrong. If we're talking about contending, there's usually two sides to the issue. Now, this is interesting. There was a survey that was put out of those who are in the media. I've got all this in my sermon notes at realfaith.com. 78% of those who are in the media are liberal and Democrat and wrong. Okay, so in this, and what you find statistically in the media, those who are in the media are more likely to be female, single, unmarried, educated, feminist, progressive, liberal in bright blue dots like New York or LA or Washington, D.C. For them in their echo chamber, they don't think like married people, they don't think like conservative people, they don't think like parents, and they don't think like Christians. And I've got a degree from the Edward R. Murrow School of Communication. At the time, it was one of the top 5 communication and journalism programs in the United States of America. And one of the things that I was taught was you need to be objective and neutral. And I remember raising my hand in class as a brand new Christian. I said, explain that. They said, when you tell the story, you need to be objective. I said, but you're not objective when you choose which story is newsworthy. It's not just telling the story, but choosing the story. There are lots of things that I think are newsworthy that non-Christians don't. And there are lots of things that non-Christians think are newsworthy that I don't. It's not only the choosing of the story, but the telling of the story that is prejudged, determined, and biased by your own perspective. None of us is objective and neutral. And so yes, Christians should contend in the media. Get upstream, create alternative news outlets, try to combat fake news with true news, because we know that Satan is still the father of lies, and sometimes his kids go to college and then they get jobs on the air. Next, should Christians contend for entertainment and the stories that are told to our children and the narratives that dominate our culture? Because see, what we're being told today is, hey, Christians, Jesus is in your heart, not in your life. He's Lord over your heart. He's not Lord over our world. Your faith should be private, not public. Get back in the closet. Contending is a public thing. And so, yes, we should contend for entertainment. And I've hit this before. Let me hit it briefly. For 65 years, the Disney Corporation, the primary storytelling mechanism to help create an ideology that lives in young children, which is what happens through storytelling, it was based on 4 keys. These are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. In 2020, they added a 5th key, inclusion. Suddenly, Disney decided our 5th key is now to have sexual, spiritual, moral diversity. That means we are now seeking to educate, indoctrinate an entire generation of children. And there's a certain percentage of people that are just like, no, we don't want our kids to see that. We don't want our kids to hear that, because children are vulnerable. First, they think that grown-ups know what they're talking about. Okay? The way you know you're a grown-up, you don't believe that anymore. How many of you thought adults were really smart, and then you became an adult and you're like, they are not smart at all. You think that they know what they're talking about, and so you tend to trust them. And there are parents that are saying no. And they're saying we're going to more closely guard the gate of education and information as well as entertainment that comes to our children. Thanks for joining me. My name is Pastor Mark. I've been teaching the Bible for more than 3 decades and head-on constant collisions with woke culture. And I would love to get you more Bible teaching. 2 things you can do. Go ahead and watch the sermon in total and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll just keep sending you Bible teaching, and we'll have a lot more fun together.